Hello Superman fans, it's TV Crazy Man here. In a previous video we looked at Superman Goofs from the first season. Now in this video we're going to see what we can find in the second season of The Adventures of Superman. In the episode Perry White's Scoop, when Jimmy Olsen climbs up into a water tank, the painted background of the city has a visible fold running horizontally through it. Now, in one scene, Clark Kent and Perry White are locked in a couple of steamers by some bad guys, and White passes out. Clark Kent busts out of the steamer, and the wooden top basically blows up and whacks White in the side of the head. Now check out the look on his face that he makes while he's supposedly passed out. Now in the episode A Ghost for Scotland Yard, you can see a tow cable is visible attached to the front end of a runaway car while Superman is trying to stop the vehicle. Now one of the more simpler goofs in the area plot was the question, how did the Daily Planet staff not recognize Clark Kent was Superman, even at those times when he wasn't wearing his glasses?
What did you call me? Mr. Kent? Who? What's the matter? Don't any of you know me?
Now in this scene from 5 Minutes to Doom, Clark rips off his glasses before jumping out of the car. After a bomb explodes, he and Lois are standing face to face, yet she doesn't recognize him as Superman. Now this happened again in the episode Panic in the Sky. Now after attempting to destroy an asteroid, Superman returns to Earth without his memory. When Perry White, Lois Lane, and Jimmy Olsen see Clark Kent at his apartment, they don't recognize him as Superman, even though he doesn't have his glasses on.
Wake up. You're a reporter. You work for me. Now come on, stop this.
Am I? Are you sure? Who is Superman?
Now this could be a pretty big goof. I mean, you got 3 investigators that can't recognize that Clark and Superman are the same guy, even though they've seen him many times as Superman, and they work with him on a daily basis in his Clark Kent disguise. There is an explanation that we have from the comics, but that was years later in the late 70s. Superman issue 330, it explained that Superman uses super hypnotism to unconsciously make others see Clark as weak and unhealthy looking, completely different looking than Superman. This would actually make everything make sense.
I don't know. I'm pretty confused.
So am I, Lois. So am I.
Keeping that in mind, there is at least one episode I remember in Season 6, Episode 2, The Magic Secret. Superman hypnotizes and actually levitates Lois Lane. But strangely enough, Perry White had also been able to do this super trick on Lois. Okay, now back to the episode Panic in the Sky. When Superman flies to the asteroid, you can see a wire that's attached to him. When Superman lands on the asteroid with a bomb, if you listen carefully, you can hear birds twittering in the background.
No matter who I am. Here goes.
Now, when Superman's flying towards the asteroid, we see the Earth represented by the use of a globe. And there's a piece of cloth under the globe on your right side that can be seen that starts to disappear right during the shot. The string holding up the asteroid is visible. Now in the episode SemiPrivate Eye, after the bad guys throw down gas canisters and leave the room, the gas begins to fill the air, and Jimmy and Lois and Garrity begin choking. And just as Garrity pulls out his handkerchief to cover his mouth and nose, a crewman's head is briefly visible on the lower left, managing the stage fog. Now honestly, I don't know with the TV screens as they were shaped back in the 50s whether or not this would be been visible or not. Just a quick timeout. My name's Tim Frady, and if you've been in my channel, you know very often I'm a writer and an artist, and I have lots of books at Amazon. I got a new superhero book called Liberty Ace. I got some funny stuff called Caveman Comics. I've got some sci-fi novels called The Time Cruisers. I'd really appreciate it if you took the time to check them out on Amazon. And if you like what you read, maybe even give me a review. Really appreciate it. It means a whole lot. Well, thanks, and let's keep on with the video. In the episode Star of Fate, look at Superman. He's about to take off here. Do you notice anything weird? Superman's S is reversed, meaning the footage was mirrored.
Curio shop.
Okay, during that same episode, Star of Fate, during a scene where they're having a phone conversation. Look at the clock in the background. It says 12:20. A few seconds later, they cut away and cut back, and now the clock says 4:40. That's a difference of 4 hours and 20 minutes. Did Superman do something to time itself?
Now, how did you guess that?
The way he rolled back time in Superman the movie? Is this an episode of The Twilight Zone? Or is somebody paying way too much attention to little details? Now let's go back real quick to A Ghost for Scotland Yard. Now here's a really fun scene. The comic book that the news vendor gives Jimmy in the very last scene is Superman number 83 from 1953. The main story is entitled Clark Kent Convict. Now here's the goof. If Jimmy Olsen would have read the comic book the news vendor gave him, he would know that Clark Kent is Superman, as the cover clearly gives away Superman's secret identity. Now don't get me wrong, I think this is really awesome, having a Superman comic within a Superman show. In fact, I'm going to try and get my hands on this book now just to add to my collection. I mean, it may cost me a pretty penny, but just think about having the same comic book that was in a scene with George Reeves himself. Now that is pretty cool. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. It's little things like that that keep me going from week to week. Thank you so much and have a great day.